Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Izzudin bin Wahid, student from the Environmental Technology. Will present to you the extended abstract, which the title is Water Harvesting Technology as a Tool for a Drought Mitigation. So let's get started. So what is drought? Drought is one of the climate change, and it is a repeated natural climatic event that arises as a result of the continuous absence of precipitation over a period of time ranging from one season to several years. And a large amount of damage can be caused by the drought itself to both agricultural production and also to human health. And people is also having a very hard time wrapping their heads around, despite the fact that it's widely regarded as the natural danger that is the most complicated one. Additionally, it affects a greater number of people than any other category of risk, and it is very impossible to forestall its occurrence because it is a characteristic of the environment that is inherent from the climate. And although it can be found in any part of the planet, the arid and semi-arid region of the world are where its impact most and frequently, and that location has feel the most strongly affected by the drought. So let's move on into the next slide. So what is the water harvesting? It is the gathering of rainwater can not only satisfy the people's fundamental water requirement, but also improve their food and livelihood security. And the following step may be included in the technique for evaluating the potential of any water harvesting technology. So the first one is the collecting of the hydrogeological and hydromorphological data of the area in question, and doing an analysis of long-term climate data for dry and wet years, as well as the frequency with which each occur in order to pick the drought scenarios, and an analysis of the current situation regarding the water resources and the amount of water that is required in the region, identification of the most promising harvesting method, a joint analysis of geohydrological maps, population maps, and also the rainfall data in order to establish the most suitable area for promising technology. And last but not least is the quantification of the possible surplus to water resources. For example, due to the influence of the conservation and recharge structure for a few drought scenario and feasible scenario related to the possible extent of application of the selected technology. The next method is the recharge to well, which through the use of the recharge through well, excess precipitation that has been collected and stored behind check dam, in surface pond or in percolation tank can be used in an effective manner to recharge the groundwater. It is necessary for the floodwater to be drinkable and free of any suspended material before it may be combined with the groundwater that is found at the greater depth. And it is recommended that a filter bed be placed on top of the recharge tube well in order to do this. And it is possible to drill a recharge tube well in the vicinity of the dam or percolation tank all the way down in the typical depth of extraction. And usually the diameter of the borehole may be somewhere about 50 cm, and a PVC pipe with a strength of 6 kg over m square and a diameter of 20 cm could be employed. So provided in the slide is the picture of the sketching for the recharge tube well that usually used and applied especially in our environment. The next method is the cistern, which is an underground storage that can be generally speaking as cistern, tankers and cones, and it's built for the purpose of storing surface runoff, and this function makes them the most frequent type of the rainwater harvesting system in the arid zone such as India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, China and several other nations. And in rural area, nearly every household, school and religious center build a cistern in order to store a drinking water for its resident. And digging a circular hole measuring between 3 and 4 meters in diameter is the first step in building cistern. And next, the base and side of the cistern are plastered with a lime mortar measuring 6 mm thick or a cement mortar measuring 3 mm thick. And the catchment of the cistern can be created in a variety of different methods, such as using locally accessible sealing material like a pond seal, muram, wood, coal, ash, gravel and other similar material. And cistern with improved design have been designed and put into use in the poor nation that are prone to drought as part of the drinking water mission program. And it is estimated that over 10,000 of these buildings are successfully operating in the dry region, especially of the Indian subcontinent, and more than 200 cisterns can be found in the Khorasan desert of the Pakistan. So this is the schematic diagram that has used applied the large cistern, especially in our modern years. And last but not least is the village pond. nadis, and toba are terms that refer to the small to medium-sized excavated or embanked village ponds that are used for capturing the little precipitation in order to relieve the lack of drinking water and residential needs in places that are plagued by water scarcity. And depending on the nature of the catchment as well as the quantity and the intensity of the rainfall, pond water may be accessible anywhere from 2 months to a whole year after it has rained. And the pond contain a drainage basin of the varying shape and size, and their depth range anywhere from 1.5 to 12 meter, and the capacity range anywhere from 400 to 700,000 cubic meter. And in addition, this pond can be put to use for the purpose of recharging the groundwater by having infiltration well and recharge pit built into the bed of the storage area. And a recharge pit of 3 meter by 3 meter by 3 meter was adequate to redirect 6,500 cubic meter of water per year to a groundwater reservoir when the conditions were appropriate. And in the alluvial region of the North Gujarat, India, a recharge from a village pond with a water spread around of 2.25 hectare and a storage capacity of 15,000 cubic meter could be induced to provide the groundwater recharge of 10,000 cubic meter in just one rainy season. And throughout, in order to ensure the residents of the Khalistan and their livestock have access to the clean drinking water, the government of Pakistan has built more than 1,500 ponds in the region. And they demonstrate that water may continue to be accessible in such system even during the drought that extend for up to an entire year. Provided in the slide is the example of the pond that has been built for the use of the agriculture and also for the drinking for the residential. In conclusion, drought is one of the climate change problem that could not be avoided naturally. This climate change could affect a lot of things, especially to human, plant and also environment. And the evolution of the water resource technology in terms of water harvesting has significantly provided a vast amount of method and mitigation measure in order to survive the natural disaster that come from the climate change. And this variety of technology has become a must in every nation to apply either in a modern or in a traditional way. And each method has their own pro and cons, thus it is very important to determine the optimum technique of water harvesting depending on the different region and the area. So that's all for me. Thank you.